All right, welcome back to another video on critical builds. So today I have a really interesting video and something I didn't think about with a lot of the other videos that I've done in the past for wisdom-based characters. I totally forgot about the Trickery Domain updates. They're actually really good. So today we are going to take advantage of that, and I thought it would be really cool to do a double Echo build, combining the Trickery Domain Echo with the Echo Knight subclass. So there are two build. This is going to be another two build video. I know I've been doing a couple of those. I have as of late, but I think this is very important because there's two ways you can build this. There's depending on your level progression, what level you're starting at, etc. If you want to get into the thick of things with this is mostly a burst damage build, and if you want to get that as soon as possible, we are optimally, because technically you can do it level 6. We'll get to that at level 8, but then there's another build that you can utilize that will have both the echoes, just you wouldn't get to level 13. But doing that way gives your character a way to do consistent AoE damage in addition to being able to do a big burst round. So I kind of like that better. But yeah, so let's just go through the base build. So we're going to be, of course, picking an elf because we'll talk about it when we get to that point in the video. But Trickery Domain now gives you a way for consistent advantage, guaranteed. So that means we need Elven Accuracy to capitalize on that consistent advantage. Of course, because it's a dex-based build, I'm going to be recommending Alert. However, if you want to build into, because you will be able to wear half plate armor eventually, have a decent armor class, feel free to take Magic Initiate Wizard to get the shield spell if you want that also. However, unfortunately, with this build, you could, if a big portion of your campaign is going to be taking place levels 1 through 5, you might want Find Familiar to gain advantage on most of your attacks in the early levels, because we will have no way of consistent advantage until character level 8, unfortunately. So let's get into the build. We're going to be doing 2-weapon fighting with this build. Extra attack is going to help a lot. And of course, that means we're going to be getting Scimitar, Nick, and Vex. And you get another weapon mastery. Just pick whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Scimitar, Nick, Vex is going to be the way. There's other Vex weapons, I guess. Pick those. There's the only other Nick weapons, a D4 dagger, I think. So, I mean, if it's like some really busted magical dagger, then go for it. But you can change these, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh, I rushed over background, stats. We're going to be doing Shadar-Kai elf or any elf of your choice. I like Shadar-Kai because they get the necrotic resistance in addition to deficiency 5 times bonus per day. They could teleport and get resistant to all damage, which is, so they're the best elf in my opinion. But if you can't pick Shadar-Kai, just pick normal elf. Okay, level 1, we're going to do fighter, 2-weapon fighting. Yep, I just said that, you gain second wind. Level 2 fighter, you gain one of the best fighter features ever, Action Surge. So now you're starting to gain some of your burst potential, and then you get a new ability called Tactical Mind, which could be good for a failed ability check for those checks that are very critical, and you can use your second wind slot on it. And what's good is if you fail, you keep it. Of course, we're going to go into 3, half the reason we're here. For Echo Knight subclass. So I explained how this works before, but we'll go again. It's a bonus action to summon it. However, as long as you summon it, it will be there forever. So you can start combat more than likely, unless you get surprised. Even if you get surprised, and you have to go first, but more than likely you'll be able to start off with the Echo next to you, and basically you can attack through the Echo. So potentially you can attack from 30 feet away, which is really, really good utility. And there's an ability where everyone takes Echo Knight for Echo and Unleashed Incarnate. Unleashed Incarnate allows you to make an additional attack action, additional attack per attack action. So basically it's up to 2 a round with Action Surge. So that's why the con mod only needs to be +2. Wisdom is important in this build, but technically you could switch for this version of the build, especially if you're only going to level 8, you can make Wisdom 13 or 14 and make this 16. However, I feel like if you're going to keep going past level 8, more than likely you're going to take more levels into Cleric, and having that 16 Wisdom is going to help you out more. Sorry, we're explaining Echo Knight. So yeah, AC is 14 plus proficiency bonus, always has 1 HP. If it takes any single point of damage, it's dead. And basically how this is going to work is at this level you could do it. You could attack 2 times with thanks to Nick, even though you don't have extra attack yet. You can then attack again with your Echo, and then you use Action Surge, attack again. You won't get the additional attack because Nick only applies once per turn. And then you will get Unleashed Incarnate again. Oh, you could use it again, and that'll be your last use for the day because it's con mod times per long rest, and you get an additional attack. It's basically Echo Knight is everyone takes Echo Knight for the burst damage, and of course, this part is not the reason people take it. The fact that you could basically attack 30 feet away through the Echo. So that's also a bonus, especially as a martial character. So it's just a really good subclass. Fighter 4, we just get more weapon masteries. Pick whatever you want. And more importantly, we get a feat. We're going to take Elven Accuracy and bump that dex to 18. Level 5 fighter, we're going to gain the extra attack, and then you get tactical shift, which is okay. Going into Cleric. Like I said before, I explained it over here, but just adding what I said before, just an additional attack. But you start with your Echo active, you use your short sword Vex, hopefully. Again, you have no advantage here, so no guarantees to hit, unfortunately. And then you follow up with Scimitar Nick, and then you keep Unleashed Incarnate to pair it up with Action Surge because that's the best use you're going to get it. But Unleashed Incarnate will be twice per long rest, while Action Surge is once per short rest. Just something to keep in mind, but you can do a lot of attacks with this, even at level 5. Without any sort of way to get advantage yet, it won't be as effective as it will be at level 3. Level 6, we're going to be finally going into Cleric. I'm going to recommend Thaumaturge because the Divine Order is either Thaumaturge or something else that will give you heavy armor proficiency, but thanks to our fighter levels, we have that, and we're not even wearing heavy armor. This is nice because it adds our Wisdom modifier, which is a +3 to our Arcana and Religion checks, so that's kind of nice since our Int is bad. And you get an extra character clan trip, pick your favorites. There's really nothing here that matters for the purposes of the build, and I didn't feel like writing out a bunch of spells just because clerics are a once per long rest prepared caster, meaning you can switch out your spells as you please. There's no if you select a spell you're doomed and you can't replace it. I mean, whatever type of deal with how it is for sorcerers and warlocks and wizards. So pick your favorites: guidance, healing word, the usuals. Cleric 2, you gain access to more spell slots, more spell slots, and more spells you can prepare for the day. Whatever, still first level. And then you get Turn Undead, which could be good in an undead focused campaign, and you get Divine Spark, which is kind of nice. You can deal a bunch of damage, which scales with your levels, cleric levels. So, but it's kind of nice. Still something you can use your Channel Divinity on. At least at this level, because now when we go into Cleric 3, our Channel Divinity will be used for Trickery Domain, so you'll never use this again after level 7. Alright, the main reason we're here. Okay, Trickery Domain. So Trickery got a huge buff. Of course, we still have Blessing of the Trickster. You can just give yourself pretty much permanent advantage on stealth, which is great. You have a high dex, so maybe you might not want half plate, maybe cap out a breastplate. So this is kind of nice. You can give anyone or yourself permanent advantage. It lasts until long rest. So yeah. And the reason we're actually here, Invoke Duplicity. So this takes up a Channel Divinity slot. We now have 2 Channel Divinity slots, and we get one back on a short rest. That works for both Paladins and Clerics now with their Channel Divinities. What's cool is, as a bonus action, we're very bonus action heavy, which is a reason why I probably wouldn't even recommend taking Dual Wielder. However, you still can for those times when you have both your echoes up and they didn't die. Well, one of them can die, one of them doesn't die. Sorry, getting very ahead of myself. So invoke duplicity. So we create an echo of ourselves within 30 feet, and through the echo, we can now cast spells from it, which is good. So because how the Echo Knight works is you can attack through it, but now we can cast spells through this if you really want to, but we're not going to be, which is kind of cool. You can do everything from such a far away, from 30 feet away, pretty much, which is pretty cool. So here's the reason we chose this subclass. While both you and the illusion are within 5 feet of the creature that can see it, you gain advantage on all attacks. So what does this mean? This means that now we could guarantee ourselves advantage by placing our illusion next to an enemy that we want to attack. Here's something cool. Technically, rules as written here, it's saying while you are within 5 feet. So what's kind of sucks is you have to be there, your echo has to be there, and now your invoke duplicity has to be within 5 feet of an enemy. However, I think if you talk to your DM, it would make sense that you are your echo. So if your echo is next to the enemy, and so is your invoke duplicity, I think you should still gain the advantage, and that's kind of cool. I mean, I have the cool AI art I made here, but that'd be kind of cool just from a gameplay. This build that I built here, I want to play the next build. We're gonna do a build 2 in a campaign, but this build is really, really cool. Like, I've never been able to play a wisdom-based character damage dealer that can consistently get advantage, because paladins have their vengeance, especially now it's even better. Like, I just could not. There's no other than Guardian of Nature. There's a 4th level druid spell that says you'll gain advantage on attack rolls, but the problem is then you got to take druid levels, 7 levels of druid, and 5 levels of either ranger or monk or something. So I never really got interested in one of those builds, because then at that point then you're better off just taking 12 levels of ranger, and then you just can get Guardian of Nature through ranger instead of doing all this weird multi-classing, because there's no whatever. Doesn't matter. This is new rules. So we'll go over the tactics very soon, but now we have a guaranteed advantage with triple advantage. 2nd level spells, choose your favorite. Silence, good one for cleric. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for the purposes of this build, and you're not locked in. So let's talk about our Nova round. We're going to have the Echo already manifested. Then we're going to use our bonus action on round 1 to place the illusion next to the enemy we want to do a bunch of burst damage to. Then with Elven Accuracy, we'll have triple advantage. And how it works. This is how it works. We have 2 attacks from extra attack. We're going to gain an extra attack from Scimitar. Then we're going to use Unleash Incarnate for the 4th attack. Axe and Surge will only grant us 2 more attacks because Nick only occurs once per round. Then we'll use Unleash Incarnate again. This will give us 7 attacks in 1 round with Elven Accuracy and triple advantage. So now, this is, if you want to get to the burst damage real quick, this is how you do it. What can we do to improve the build from this point? Well, you gotta take that 1 level of Ranger. 1 level of Ranger is going to grant you Hunter's Mark. So those 7 attacks, because right now you're pretty much only doing a D6 damage with the short sword scimitar, is basically a crit every single time. And then when you do crit, because of Elven Accuracy, it's gonna be 4d6 on that 1 attack. Unfortunately, we're not a paladin and we can't smite, but still, this is really good. So make sure to take advantage of that. Speaking, that kind of got me thinking. If you take like 5 levels Paladin, 3 levels of Echo Knight with Vengeance, you're just doing a crap load of damage and crit fishing. I mean, that's a build there, but whatever. Yeah, so definitely take that 1 level Ranger. And then from here, I probably would just keep going Cleric. You get so much more with Cleric and up getting more spell slots and spell casting, and then you can, when you gain access to 3rd level spells, you can then use Spirit Shroud. Spirit Guardians for consistent AoE damage around you. That's something that I'm going to build upon in build 2. But yeah, that's where I would go. I would take 1 level of Ranger and then just keep on going with Cleric. You could push Ranger, but maybe get like a subclass like Gloom Stalker. But if I feel like you go for build 2 if you're going to go that way. This is more like if you're ending at 9, for example. So now let's talk about the build I would want to run in a very long-term campaign that goes into higher levels. If you're going to be capping around 9 or 10, this is perfect for this build. This build right here is perfect. But let's go into this. It's gonna be a lot of the same stuff we talked about, but now we're starting Ranger instead of Fighter. I like I like starting as Ranger to get the extra attack because of the spell slot progression that will then be mixed with the Cleric spells spell slot progression. So then by the time we get to a character level 10, for example, and get access to Spirit Guardians, we'll be able to have 4th level slots already, and then we'll be able to get the 5th level slots quicker to be able to upcast them. I'm pretty sure Spirit Guardians only upcast to a 5th, not a 4th level slot. Okay, so let's go the Ranger route. Same thing as before. We're going to get our weapon masteries. We don't get what's the difference here between Ranger 1 and Fighter 1. Of course, we'll get the access to weapon masteries, but we won't get access to a fighting style. So at this level, you're only adding your Dex mod with +3 to one of these to the first attack. And then we have Hunter's Mark. Always use that with your bonus action. And yeah, and then Ranger 2, we get access to more spells, such as extra picks for spells, Absorb Elements, Detect Magic. Zephyr Strike will only be good until level 5. It's a weird spell how it works, but it kind of like, I forget, it's a D8 or something on your next attack. I don't know. It's iffy, but Hunter's Mark's probably better. This is concentration, I think. Get 2 of them fighting. Subclass, I'm pretty much always going to recommend Gloom Stalker. Beastmaster actually got pretty good updates, but the problem with Beastmaster is it requires your bonus action for the animal to attack, and we are already very bonus action heavy. Besides having the good wisdom in addition to the dex, it's going to help a lot with Gloomstalker. Getting that wisdom modifier to wit initiative is really good. Getting a permanent greater, you're always in dark. Like, don't get every single campaign, there will be a time when you are in darkness. And with Gloomstalker Ranger in darkness, you have the pretty much greater invisibility on you for free. So you don't even have to use Invoke Duplicity, which it's so good. Especially early levels, you're going to find yourself a lot of times in the darkness. So you'll have pretty much invisibility to like most enemies in the game. Of course, until you get to higher levels, but of course, now when we get to higher levels, we'll have Invoke Duplicity to help give us a permanent advantage. So honestly, then Ranger 4, Elven Accuracy, and then Ranger 5 extra attack. You had access to second spells. Unfortunately, there's not much. You could get Magic Weapon. It got buffed. It's not concentration. It's just a free +1 to attack and damage rolls, which could be good. I like Passive Trade is actually really good too. But honestly, thinking about it, if you're going to be in a campaign like an Underdark campaign, don't even bother taking the Cleric levels. You're always don't bother taking the Cleric levels until later. Reverse the order. So like now we've done Ranger, then you go to Echo Knight to 8. So it'd be 5 Ranger, Echo Knight 3, and then you go into the Cleric levels for when you start to face enemies that could see through, that have blind sight and true sight, because that's the only way they can see you within darkness. But I'm going to assume that you're in a normal campaign where you're going to be in dark and light. So we got to get that advantage, because right now we only have advantage in the dark. So then, yep, we're going to do the same exact thing we talked about earlier. So Cleric 1, Cleric 2, you get all this stuff, pick your favorites, and then we get our Trickery again. And the tactics are going to be exactly the same, except that we don't have 7 attacks, we only have 3. But now we have with our bonus slot open. So round 1, if you hit, you can't do damage. So I would put the Invoke Duplicity, your illusion, next to the target, make 3 attacks with Elven Accuracy, then apply Hunter's Mark, and then you have triple advantage 1d6. Yeah. So now we got to talk. If you just care about single target and don't care to do AoE damage, then just go immediately to 3 levels of fighter, get your Echo Knight, and unleash Incarnate. However, like I said, this is build 2. And I think being able to do AoE damage in conjunction with single target DPS is very important. So we're going to go and take 2 more levels of Cleric. We're going to then boost our dex to 20. You could, depending on how high level you're going, maybe take 2 half beats. You could take Dual Wielder for whenever your bonus slot is not being used, but however, it does take a bonus action to move your spirit. So if enemies were to move away from you and or you kill the enemy that you're currently attacking and you need to move your illusion, it's going to be a bonus action, which kind of sucks, because then you also need your bonus action to move Hunter's Mark. So again, it's a lot of big bonus action heavy, which is, yeah, that's why I really don't think you need a dual wielder. Your bonus action is going to be used most of the time. Maybe 1 or 2 times in a fight, your bonus action won't be used, but I think having that dex at 20 is going to be a lot better. Cleric 5. Then we're going to character level 10, Seer Undead, whatever, who cares. We're here for Spirit Guardians. And then now, 2, we're here, Spirit Shroud. So, this is honestly a slight buff because, like I was saying with Hunter's Mark, the problem with Hunter's Mark is that you're going to need a bonus action to transfer it. However, Spirit Shroud will just be concentration, just like Hunter's Mark, and it'll just be applied to your weapon. And also, it's a D8 instead of a D6. And it causes enemies to not be able to regenerate, so it's even better. But the fact that it just stays on your weapon means all you got to do is use your bonus action going forward to move your spirit. So then now that you have Spirit Shroud, you could consider dual wielder, because the only thing, well, if your Echo dies, that's a bonus action too, but you're only going to summon your Echo. You're only going to want your Echo for the burst round, and hopefully your Echo doesn't die before that, because it is a 1 round setup. But yeah, something to consider. But I think boosting that dex to 20 just can be better overall. And then now we have AoE spell. So if we want to do AoE damage, the tactic is going to be cast Spirit Guardians, and then a bonus action to put Invoke Duplicity on whatever enemy you want to do single target damage to, while simultaneously doing AoE damage to all enemies around you. Use all your movement, hit every single enemy, and then on round 2, just go ham on that enemy with Invoke Duplicity on them. So now we're going to go into Echo Knight. You get another fighting style. I would recommend defense or blind fighting. Blind fighting will come in handy much more than you think. Gain action surge, Echo Knight combo, and now boom, we have with the final strategy here. We have AoE, and we have single target options with this build. And what's great is you have triple advantage with Spirit Shroud for initial D8 on every single attack that can crit. And I think this build is super strong and super fun to play. I put some calculations down here. Usually I don't do this on the Nova damage, how much it would be. I have to have a little chart at the end here. Yeah, so like at level 8, if you went just up with the level 8, you could potentially do 91 to 120 based on crits. And then with the AoE hybrid, I mean, you're level 13, but on a burst round, you could do 129 to 170. This is not Spirit Guardians damage. This is if you just going out with the Echo Cardinate and Spirit Shroud. Spirit Shroud for build 2, and then Hunter's Mark for that. But of course, the damage would be very honestly exact. Slightly, it'd probably be in the 100 somethings here. If this is without Hunter's Mark, I probably should have did level 9 here and did the damage with Hunter's Mark for build 1, but I didn't. Sorry. But yeah, that's the build. I really hope you enjoyed the build. This was really cool to think about, and it's like a really cool build to play, and it's also very, very strong. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. I'm trying to build a community of people that like building these powerful builds, Dungeons & Dragons builds. And yeah, I hope to be able to have pretty much all the best builds for 2024 on this channel. At time of recording this, I think I got like maybe 5 or 6 more videos I want to do, and then I pretty much feel like I have every single build that I think is strong per each class and everything. Yeah, so but also I'm taking in the Discord, people are suggesting builds, like for example, a build I did a long time ago at this point of posting this video was the oversized weapon build. That was a fan that wanted that build done, and I never even thought about building around oversized weapons. So yeah, maybe you'll think of something cool that I could make a build around, and I'll optimize it to the best of my ability. But yeah, until next time, please like, comment, subscribe, and join the Discord. Peace.